Most people have heard about the invasion of Hamas into Israeli land, but not many know how the tensions between these two groups got so bad. Jews and the Arabs have been fighting for the Holy Land for hundreds of years, and it all dates back to near the beginning of Judaism, when Moses and Joshua led their followers from Egypt, crossed the Jordan River, and settled in this land in 1000 BCE, where the Kingdom of David was formed. Jews had occupied this land for a little over 1,000 years until Islam was formed in the year 610, and the Arabs took over most of the region by 636. Not one group has ever had full total control over the Holy Land, where Jews, Christians, and Muslims all lived in this region, but the Arabs did control most of the land throughout the Ottoman Empire. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, a new Zionist movement was growing in popularity, where Jews were looking to re-establish an independent Jewish state, ideally in Palestine. As World War I ended and the Ottoman Empire collapsed, Britain was in control of the land and signed the Balfour Declaration, declaring the land as belonging to the Jews. In the years following, there were many anti-Jewish riots led by the Arabs in this region who didn't want to see the land given back to the Jews, so England started walking back on their promise of establishing Israel as a Jewish independent state and created new borders for both the Arabs and Jews to live in this region. It eventually got to the point where England was limiting the number of Jews that could immigrate into Israel, who were all fleeing Europe during the lead up to World War II. After World War II in 1947, Israel and Palestine agreed on giving the West Bank to Palestine, but Palestinians still felt more land was theirs. In 1967, the Six-Day War broke out between Israel and the neighboring Arab countries, which resulted in a victory for Israel, who now had total control over the land. Palestinians still lived in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, but now Israel had military control over these regions in an attempt to maintain peace. This gave rise to the PLO, which is the Palestinian Liberation Organization, whose mission was to end Israeli military occupation in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, and also the more extreme group known as the Hamas, which has been labeled as a terrorist organization by virtually everyone other than the United Nations, whose main goal is to fully wipe out Israel and all the Jews. That brings us to today, where the Hamas in the Gaza Strip just entered Israel in the Kerem Shalom crossing, breaching the border fence and attacking the military base there. Hamas then passed through the Erez crossing and into Israeli towns with not much resistance. Hamas says these attacks are only the beginning of a long war.